Hello, friends, and welcome to the 23rd episode of the Squad Pad, where we love to talk about all our favorite battle royales and multiplayer video games. I'm Maddox Jr., and hot dropping into this week's podcast, we have my anime shield wielding fellow troll, Kevin A6. How's it going, Kevin?
What? Anime shield wielding troll? What's going on?
Yeah, do you not remember?
Oh,
Kali
yeah.
Sixteen. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I only work for 2 games. I mean, actually, technically, I only work for one game.
Yeah,
and then another game, we didn't become successful. But yeah, it was fun.
If you think for a second that we're not doing that next time, you would be wrong.
Will there be a next time?
Probably not.
Nobody knows. Maybe not.
What game are y'all even talking about?
Modern
Warzone.
Warzone. Oh, you never saw it though, too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he wasn't playing with us. He was too busy actually playing the game and succeeding.
I stopped trying after a while.
Next, joining us on the podcast, you may know him by his best nickname, Clean Burn. What's up, Washburn?
Oh my god, I hate you.
Clean Burn.
What's up, guys? Yeah, a lot of Assassin's Creed this week. Horrible nicknames. I told Nick Scarpino it wasn't catching on, and unfortunately, it's catching on. So we'll see what happens here.
And finally, we have a special guest today. You may know him from his work at kindafunny.com/you're wrong, the Nano Biologist. How's it going, Nano?
For the Horde. Pretty good.
Whoa.
Staying a little too much time in Azeroth right now.
Fair enough.
Thor, right?
All good with us.
That's right. That. Yes.
Kevin,
What up?
never mind. I'm just gonna let him have it. I'm gonna let him have it.
Ragnarok.
All right, so since we've been playing mostly the same games, I have a bunch of fun questions. Look, some of them we already know the answer for Kevin and Washburn, including this first one, but I thought I would check in with Nano since he's new around these parts. Nano, what consoles do you currently have?
All of them, I think.
PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series?
Yeah, I've been switching between those pretty regularly.
And which one are you playing more, though? That's the real question.
Oh, Xbox.
Nice.
Duh.
And
somebody asked in the live chat on an episode of Gamescast recently, somebody was like, "What games are you even playing on Xbox?" And I just responded and I said, "Everything that's not Spider-Man." Every other game.
It's an amazing third-party machine, and anybody who says otherwise is wrong.
Yeah,
correct. And since this is the Squad Pod, and we love our favorite, what is your favorite multiplayer game or battle royale?
I think I have to say World of Warcraft. I know I put the most time in that. Last time I checked my playtime on my old account is over 100 days played.
That's a lot. But of course, it's 15 years old, so.
Yeah. I mean, that was my old account when I stopped 5 years ago. And then my new account, I have no idea. I'm too scared to check.
And do you feel like, what was it that made you come back to this game? Because I feel like a lot of people, they like stopped playing a certain amount of years ago. And then like, I feel like this year / last year, everyone kind of like hopped back in.
I've always been on and off with it, depending on either school or work. Just something took me away from it. I stopped for the most time back in Mists of Pandaria, where I just got too involved with school and other activities. But then near the end of that, I got back into it, and I've been sticking with it ever since.
Nice.
Except with Draenor, because fuck Draenor.
And also, like, last year was Classic, right?
Yeah, I feel like that drew a lot of people back in.
And then this year, the Shadowlands. So
the
expansions are always going to see a bump in numbers.
We can touch on Shadowlands later, but they've done a lot of good with this expansion and making it more digestible and welcoming to newcomers, which definitely helps. It's not trying to reach level 130 or 120, having to go through every expansion to get to the new stuff. They've made it a lot more streamlined and easy to understand new characters whenever you create a new one, with some new leveling sequences and just making it more of a streamlined story.
Nice.
Because before, like, when you start up a new character, you got like bits and pieces of expansions, but right when you hit the max level for an expansion, you moved on to the next one. not really finishing out the story. But they seem to have fixed that, kind of taking on the Final Fantasy 14 model for how to progress.
And then here's a question for everyone. What was your first console?
Sega Genesis.
Mine was the original Xbox.
I think
that
it's
was
64.
mine personally. 64? Nice.
Mhm.
Kevin?
SNES, I think. That I own?
No.
Yeah, the SNES would have to be it.
Yeah, the first one I bought was a original Xbox.
Really?
For first one
Yeah.
I purchased with my own money was probably a 360.
Yeah, same here.
With my money, I think it was a PS4.
Damn.
And then inspired by our one grumpy friend recently, what is the best controller? And what is the worst controller?
I mean, is it even a question, dude? Come on, man.
I'm holding mine up too. You can't see it.
Oh man, the Elite Series 2 is not even close.
Do you guys change out the D-pad for that? Or you keep it at the
no,
regular one?
It's the saucer.
I have the other one, Kevin.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I like that one more. And I have like the rounded one of these, and then like the wider one of these ones.
Really? You're actually changing those, huh?
Yeah, I like those sticks better than the regular sticks.
Do you guys change it?
Do you guys use paddles or no paddles?
Paddles.
Yeah,
I use 3 paddles.
When I got this controller, my goal was to never press a face button ever again. And so I've done pretty good with that. There are still times, obviously, I press them, but like, yeah, I use all 4 paddles.
I've only used 2.
One of them I can't reach with my hand. It like feels weird. I think it's the left upper one, and I just like leave that one off. Yeah, that one's off.
What do you
worst controller?
Worst controller?
DualShock 3. The DualShock 3 is the worst controller of all time.
Wii U
I think it was the 4.
The Wii U gamepad.
The Wii U gamepad might be actually the answer to that.
No, I'm not sitting down. That's actually pretty cool though. You had a second screen on it, even though it's so weird to play on it. It was so big.
Yeah.
It was only good for like Mario Maker.
The pre-Switch.
Yeah.
I had a friend. So like back when Smash 4 was, the hotness on the Wii U. I had a friend who's like a super casual gamer and could only play Smash on the gamepad. Like we would hand him like GameCube controllers and like the Wii U Pro controller, and he'd just be like, "No, I have to use this gamepad. It's the only way I know how to it's the only place I'm comfortable." And it was just always hilarious. And I
had a friend similar that they only had to use a Wiimote. That they can only play on a Wiimote sideways, not with the nunchuck.
Oh no,
Jesus!
I remember those days though, where you just like scrounged whatever controllers you had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess the same happens with the Switch. It's like this person gets the Pro controller, this person gets a half a Joy-Con, this person gets 2 Joy-Cons.
It worked though. That's the best part about it. You can actually make it work, which is pretty cool.
And like get 8 people in locally. It's very fun. It's been so long since I saw people, and played Smash Brothers.
DualShock 3 worst controller? Yeah.
Yeah, the triggers are atrocious.
I hate the triggers personally as well.
So bad that like in shooters on the PS3, they had you using R1 and L1. Yeah, to like aim and shoot because like the triggers were so uncomfortable.
They weren't even triggers then, were they? They were still just buttons?
Just like big buttons. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
No, they were triggers.
But they were like. They were just awful. They were awful.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you call those monstrosities on the back of that thing. They were like third parties who sold like little clip-on attachments for them to turn them into like triggers that you could pull and not like have your finger slide off the back. I remember those and buying those for that stupid thing. But yeah, those DualShock 3 is awful.
Way too light too, because I'm holding it right now. It's just really light.
Well, the 3 and the 4 both felt like toys. They felt way too flimsy.
I didn't mind the 4 as much as everybody else seems to, but it's no Xbox controller.
Khalif Adams of Spawn on Me and Blunt Force fame puts his shooting on in Warzone on L1 and R1 instead of the triggers.
That's crazy.
Because he said it's less of a trigger, it's less of a pull, so it's like faster, you know.
I guess.
I mean, does he not have an Elite controller?
He's playing on PlayStation, so.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't played like a shooter on the DualSense yet, but I mean, it's fine. These triggers are fine. You know what I mean?
You get that trigger feedback on the DualSense because I tried it on Fortnite and it felt weird. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next question is the most important question in determining how smart of a person you are. And it is, do you have Game Pass?
Yes.
I don't. I don't.
I hate people who argue about not having Game Pass, finding any reason not to have it.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
There's no point.
If you play any amount of games, yeah, you did.
If you're gonna sit and look at Game Pass and everything on it, and just say, oh, I'm not really interested, then you need to reevaluate whether or not you actually like video games. Like that's kind of how I feel.
I get into it all the time in the Kind of Funny chat where I'd say you must have Game Pass at this point, and somebody had the audacity to say that they found no games that they liked on Game Pass.
It was probably K-Bad.
Which feels impossible. It was. Yeah.
I think I was there for that.
I mean, yeah.
I thought, and I was like,
that's crazy to me. That's just wild to me. I don't know. I can't even wrap my brain around that. There's just so many games. There's so much variety. So it's not like they're all first-person shooters or racers or adventure games. There's everything.
Side scrollers and whatnot.
Yeah.
How much is it? $15, right?
A month.
Not even
for Ultimate. I don't know. I pay the yearly.
I paid. I think it like stacked for forever if you upgraded from Xbox Live.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have like 5 years in the bank right now, just finding random codes on the internet, somehow getting them in first.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think I have like 2 years banked of like whatever I had on Xbox Live or something like that.
Also, if you use like the Microsoft points, you can get it for almost forever just by playing on Xbox
and using the rewards thing.
Yeah,
that's smart.
Everybody does, but you can get a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah, you have to like turn them in. I do it every once in a while. And I'm like, ooh, I'll play this game just so that I can get some Microsoft rewards points, and then I never use the rewards.
I mean, I did the 10K just to get that 10,000 points.
I wonder how many I have. Because every time I play a game on Game Pass, I get the little
notification.
You played a game on Game Pass.
Yeah. You got to turn it in, though, I think, right?
I think so, yeah.
Y'all have to walk me through that later and see.
It's like an app on your Xbox, that's all.
Yeah. Is it an app? I don't even know it's an app. It just pops me into like the achievement list section of the Xbox.
You should just have to go down to like the Game Pass section now on your dashboard and redeem them there.
Oh yeah, but you probably redeem it there, but like just to turn it in the quest, whatever they're called, I think you have to go to the achievement list, or it's like below the achievement list, something like that. It was weird when I went to it a day ago or 2 days ago. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You got nice points for just playing games.
Yeah, for sure. The Switch one actually works very well with like the rewards points because you can just like choose to use them when you build up some. Like relatively easily, I feel like.
I've always used it when I have like $1. I never save up.
Do you guys ever bank those points?
I banked them for a little while, just because I like bought like a couple games in a row or something. My Switch doesn't get enough use though. It's very sad.
So far, I've been like Kevin. Just whenever you purchase the game, there's some points here.
Yeah,
Must just use them to
the $1,
50 cents.
Yeah. I was like, might as well, right? I don't know. I should save them up to see if I can buy a game from that, but it'll take a long time because it all depends on how much the game costs too. So you can't be buying those cheap games and expecting to get like $10 out of it of reward points.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
So they get you there.
I think the reason I had it built up is because I bought like the first party Nintendo games that never go on sale.
They never do.
My next question is, what is your favorite game franchise?
That's hard. I mean, the default answer is Mass Effect. You know what I mean? Like that's just always the right default, like where my brain goes the fastest.
Halo's good. Mine goes to like Splinter Cell or Halo, I feel like.
I want to say Kingdom Hearts, but I also want to say Assassin's Creed at the same time. God, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
If you say like top 3, that'd be much easier.
I feel like with Mass Effect, I think. I just like that trilogy of games was so like tight for me. You know what I mean? It's there's like not a whole lot of bloat to it, and it was just something that had a beginning and an ending. And
they said they're making another one, Washburn.
Trilogy.
You know what?
What about Andromeda though?
It's not going to be about Shepard.
We don't
talk about Andromeda.
It was there. 10 out of 10.
I went and beat it one time. It was not a fun experience, though.
I beat that game. Yeah, it was whatever.
Yeah.
Not. I mean, the original trilogy is just so like beginning, middle, end. You know what I mean? I love it. I love that trilogy so much. I think it's still the best 3 back-to-back games ever.
I think my favorite franchise would have to be NBA 2K. They're always hitting it, dude. Every time, dude. It's like I don't spend any money on that game, dude.
Every year.
I'm always shooting 3-pointers, you know what I'm doing?
He's sweaty, yeah, dude.
Then this one, the new one, you can see the sweat, dude. God, what a great franchise.
Wow.
No, I would say like Halo or something, like Assassin's Creed. Maybe. You know, I haven't really played Assassin's Creed. I just like that world and universe that they have.
If you had asked me before Assassin's Creed 3 came out, I would have 100% said Assassin's Creed, because that's like I played every single one, like all the way through up into and I beat 3 as well, but after that I kind of fell off a lot.
Have you checked out the remaster at all
of 3?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
It feels much better than I think you remember it to be. I had a lot better time playing it this time
story
around.
Was part of the disappointment for me, though.
I thought maybe it was my young brain thinking like that the first like 6 hours, you know, or however long the beginning part of that game is, you know, and then you get to the end of it and you're like, oh dang, like that's a crazy twist, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's how my brain works. It's like you come to find out that you're playing as a Templar for, you know, however long that was. And then you become Connor. Is it Connor, right?
Yeah.
And I thought Assassin's Creed 3 was fine. I know a lot of people like to shit on that game, but for me, it was all right.
I hated Connor. God damn, he was so annoying. He wasn't obeying everyone's like orders and stuff. I was like, Connor, what are you doing? Stop being a little like bitch and just do what the old man says. You don't know how to be an assassin. Come on.
The worst part about the game though was just how long the tutorial was, because you remember the first part where you play as the Templar, but it gets awful for another 2 hours after that because you're as your kid Connor learning everything again.
Being Kid Connor is not fun. I said this earlier when we were watching Mike play Valhalla. Video games love making you a child and then making you grow up, and then the child part always sucks.
Unless it's Horizon Zero Dawn.
What about 2, where you get to kick your legs and whatnot as a baby?
Oh yeah,
True. yeah.
But 2 is a really good game, though. Come on, you gotta go.
2 is a really good game. That's
that
true.
twist in number 2, right? It was in 2. Yeah, 2 had the twist. God.
Okay, since we're on this Assassin's Creed kick, I have this lovely question because I know that everyone here enjoys a good Assassin's Creed. If you were to choose the setting of the next Assassin's Creed game, what would you choose?
Feudal Japan.
Oh no, Ghost did it better.
No,
it'll never be as good as Ghost.
You can't assassinate like you do in Assassin's Creed, all right?
I think you can, bro.
Like go from up top and do a hidden blade type of move. You can't do that on there. Probably just
I think
not the same.
Yeah, the hidden katana doesn't match the hidden blade.
Yeah, dude. Have you seen those hidden blades in Washburn? You got that in Valhalla? I don't think you got that in Valhalla. Do you got that in Valhalla?
You don't even have it in Odyssey.
In Valhalla?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a hidden blade.
I know they took them out in Odyssey. That's why I said
we'll
that.
get it. Like, I don't know if like when y'all want to talk about it, but yeah, Valhalla like leans into as far as I am. Yeah, there's a lot
it's
of that.
back.
Yeah,
Good. That's good. I like that part. I think that's probably why I fell off a little bit as well. And cross-generational games always threw me because I played the first half of Black Flag twice. My choice, since there was a part of me that was always yes, feudal Japan would be dope. But then I was thinking obviously someone's going to mention that one, and I was thinking Genghis Khan. And then you just go back to that time, hang out, and overrun the world.
I mean, Mulan did it better.
Okay. It's kind of the same.
It is kind of the same, but you're on the other side. You're overrunning Japan and everywhere else, I guess, too.
True. Different.
So that'd be kind of like what you're doing in Valhalla then, but more in China
and more horse based. I feel like.
Yeah.
What if they did a Old West? You know what I mean?
That would be kind of nuts, dude.
Yeah.
If they went to Red Dead Redemption times type thing.
That'd be wild.
I put some thought into this, and I thought either sometime in ancient India or China, or do get rid of ancient feudal Japan, but go with China instead with the different dynasties would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or go into World War II Europe.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Where you're just assassinating people for one side or the other.
That'd be fuck the
crazy.
Nazis.
Yeah. Just be a stealth-based World War II game.
Yeah, you're part of the resistance taking out Nazis in France or Germany.
That would be a good story. I feel like you can make a decent story out of that for sure.
And the gunplay has to be really good then, because I mean, you would have to pick up a gun. It'd be weird if your guy does not pick up a gun for no reason.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is any era you go to. I mean, there have been Assassin's Creed games with guns in them,
but they're rifles,
single shot rifles.
Yeah. So you'd have to go back to I mean, I feel like World War I's the most recent you could go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also feel like with guns, you end up in the territory of what Far Cry is to a certain degree. If you're still running on the Ubisoft, go explore the map, go climb this tower, etc. But
I mean,
because it's third person.
Yeah, it's third person, so instead of first person, it feels different from. Yeah, the gunplay would feel a lot different from that.
All right. Next question is, what is your favorite game genre?
I don't know. I don't know.
Define genre.
First person shooter, driving.
Use it in
etc.
Action adventure, I guess. I mean, if I had to choose one, maybe I'll say third person shooter or action adventure, like the Division 2, I just like the Division 2. Something like the Division 2, I guess, something that's third person, fast, and has guns. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Action adventure. I'll just say action adventure.
I'd go with either an RPG or action adventure. I tend to lean towards the RPGs whenever they come out.
Mm-hmm. Everything's an RPG now, though.
Yeah.
When I say action adventure, when I go into an action adventure game, I expect there to be some sort of skill tree,
RPG elements.
Yeah, RPG elements. Yeah.
I feel like more probably driving games. Play a lot of driving games.
Kevin, what
Racing.
about you?
Man, it's a tough one. What's my favorite genre? I guess it would have to be NBA 2K type of genre, where you don't spend money. No, I'm joking. Shooters, I guess. First person shooters.
That's fair. I would say
Halo,
that's probably
Call of Duty,
kind of mine.
Far Cry is fun. I can't really think of anything else. I really
play as much as first person shooters.
Yeah. Just a great time, It's simple. You don't see the guy. You just shoot. Basic stuff.
Yeah. So next question is, what game do you think is overrated? I think Fall Guys and Among Us are overrated.
Is this where I can get spicy?
Oh yeah, dude.
Every Souls game.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Every Souls game is overrated.
Whoa.
They're dumb. Those games are dumb.
Whoa.
The people are like, oh, I mean, okay, the level design's great. I'll give them that, but like everything else about those games sucks, and people just want to pretend that they're like these great games because they're really difficult, and they want to feel like they've accomplished something when all they've done is play a really clunky, bad game with pretty good level design.
The only one I'll disagree with is Sekiro. Every
I
other
haven't played that
Soulsborne game is awful.
Damn, I guess we can't
yeah.
post this episode then. Jeez. Spicy. Overrated
I'd go with
game.
one.
What do you got, Nano?
I'd say CD Projekt Red games.
Whoa.
Wow.
Ooh.
I just cannot get into Witcher 3 anytime I try, and
I
I have zero excitement for Cyberpunk.
Oh, that was one of my questions. Where's your excitement for Cyberpunk?
So, no, hold on. I just beat
Zero.
The Witcher 3. I just beat The Witcher 3 again for the third time. And I understand what Nano is saying. Like, as somebody who loves that game, obviously just loves it enough to beat it 3 times, and I beat it again to just like sort of get myself hyped for Cyberpunk. But that game has issues, and it's so long. Like the first 10 hours of that game are boring as hell. And this is one of my big complaints with Assassin's Creed 2 is just like games are so big now, especially these like RPGs where you're asking the player to commit 10 hours before you really give them the meat or give them something, and it's just like it's too much, man. Like I almost didn't continue Assassin's Creed until I hit this like one quest line that was about like 12 hours in, and I was like, okay, I like this now. Like but man, Witcher 3 has that same problem where it's just like, God, the first 10 hours of that game are so boring. So boring.
Like just hearing the idea that these side quests can be as long as main missions and 3-4 hours long doing a separate thing that has no impact on the story is kind of terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And when they don't really have any designation, I'm not really sure what they're going to do for Cyberpunk. But when I played Witcher and doing some of these side quests, not realizing that they weren't part of the main story, it kind of felt like a waste.
Yeah,
I wanted to see where the story was going, but doing all these side things, which were kind of fun, but also you could burn so much time and over level quickly on some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's some side quests there are certain side quests that do influence the world and the ending, but there's really you can boil it down to like 4 or 5 quest lines that you should do that don't like maybe directly tie into the main story, or do, but it's I definitely get it. I mean, I don't go and do every side quest in The Witcher 3. Especially this last playthrough, it's just like, no, I know what I'm doing. I know what I need to do, and I'm gonna go and do it. I'm not gonna go do the Witcher contracts until unless I feel like coming back. And really, one of the big reasons I beat it is because I do want to see that next gen version, and have sort of a save state on the Series X where I can jump in, just fresh after beating the story and kind of go around and do just the other 70 hours of useless tasks. So
it's a lot of stuff.
Cyberpunk hype is average.
I feel like the delays have averaged me out.
Yeah. I have no idea what that game's gonna be. No idea. I've watched the Night City Wires and I still have no idea. It could, like, I could pick that game up and hit somebody and it could feel absolutely awful. Like I have no clue. So average. I think it looks like a cool setting. I trust the developer. But the story doesn't matter to me because I don't know. It's based on a RPG board game. Not like I'm just not like coming into The Witcher where it's based off characters that are already pretty well known. So yeah, I'm super lukewarm on it. We'll see what happens when I pick it up here in a couple of weeks, though.
Yeah, same. I'm just average because it's been so long, and I was like ready for it to come out, and I was like delayed, and I was like, okay. I don't know how excited I am anymore.
I don't know how any media is excited for that game because that's going to take up so much of their time, and then they are going to play any other game that comes out, get immediately pulled away, and forget all about where they were, what they were doing. Because those types of games, you need to be in it and stick with it to build out your character.
I'm so bad at sticking with things.
I know.
I jump around
really
a lot.
Nervous because like we'll see here in a couple weeks. Maybe even I think it's next week. Immortals drops. Immortals Phoenix Rising. And if that game reviews well, that's going to be a problem for me because that means because that's the game I've sort of had my eyeball on this whole time in the middle of this crazy, season of just bangers dropping left and right.
Did you play the demo on Stadia? Oh, okay.
I've always thought it looked really cool. I thought everything I've seen out of this game, I was like, that looks super cool and super fun. And it looks like just a nice little jaunt, sort of like I know it's longer than the Pathless, but it's just something original like the Pathless was for me last week. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what that reviews like. And if it reviews well, there's a chance I might drop a Valhalla for it. And that makes me nervous because I already have sunk 25 hours into Valhalla and I do kind of want to beat it, but that comes out next week, and then Cyberpunk comes out the week after that, and it's just like, well, eventually I'm just going to have to pick one.
Yeah.
That's terrifying because they all do look really cool.
Originally, that's why I was holding off on Assassin's Creed, is because I was like, I'll just play Cyberpunk a lot, and we'll see, I guess.
Well, I fell off Assassin's Creed for a little while for that Kingdom Hearts game, Melody of Memory, the rhythm game that came out. Playing with that and some other games I've been reviewing lately, it's just been hard to get back to Assassin's Creed. And now that the new WoW expansion's out, it's gotten even harder. Yeah. Because the raid comes out 2 days after Cyberpunk. So all this crazy stuff is happening in such a short time. It's great, but it's also awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Warzone is getting all the weapons from Cold War on the same day that Cyberpunk comes out. So
yeah, I don't know. Just that, which is just the multiplayer side of things that takes away so much of our single player time when we're just playing multiplayer games for 6-7 straight hours at night.
It's fun. It's fun.
It is. It's great. It's great. I love playing multiplayer games, but it's just another thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that just detracts from any time that I could put into Assassin's Creed or Immortals. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, it's nuts.
Well, even now, I got back into Fortnite because I want to finish out this Marvel Battle Pass before it ends in a couple days. Too. And that's just even more time gone trying to do all the missions and get all these skins before they all go away in literally 2 days now. Once Galactus shows up.
Yeah. Kevin and I, we had extra points on our thing, and we were like, why don't we just buy the levels that we have the money for without actually paying anything extra? And I went up 20 levels.
Well, all right, technically with me, I've been spending money on this game, dude.
Dude. Oh, we know.
Dude. Nano, it's gone crazy for me, dude. Ever since the season of Marvel, I was just like, oh, cool skin pack. I'm gonna buy it real quick. And another one
Kevin,
comes out.
where's Bud my invite? I've been off and on all season with all these new skins coming out.
Damn, I haven't been playing a lot. We haven't played in 2 months, right, Maddock?
Yeah, we've only been playing we played twice this week, I think, and that was just getting back into it. We were playing a lot way early on
at the beginning.
When it first came out.
Yeah, when it first came out, we were grinding.
Yeah, and then Black Ops.
I did the same thing, but now I feel like I'm back.
Yeah,
all this crazy with Stark Industries around. There's Galactus coming out of the water now.
Yeah.
All these Doom bots. It's just gotten crazier and more fun.
And the abilities, the superpower abilities too. Oh god, it's so cool. And all the characters you can see. Damn.
Plus the skins changed. If you have a Thanos, or not Thanos, but if you have a Thor and you have the hammer unlocked, you can get glowy skin. You can turn into She-Hulk if you have the right skin too.
Yeah, which is really cool. I love that. And the best part too, I got lucky. Even
if you have Tony Stark, you can unlock the Iron Man skin.
I got that already.
Yeah. Yeah, he just did it yesterday.
God damn, I'm so happy. And then I got Captain America, and I got him William Mjolnir. Oh man, it's so cool.
So, like, if I were to hypothetically buy this battle pass all the way, which would probably be really expensive for me because I haven't played it, as much as y'all have.
Yeah.
And so you get Tony Stark, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just using this as an example. And then you get his challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm.
After this season ends, could I still go back and do those challenges? Or are they going to close those challenges off at the end of the season?
Sometimes they don't close the challenges at the end of seasons if it's general enough that you can still accomplish it. But if it's like, oh, you have to do something to Stark bots and there's no Stark bots in the next season, they'll just shut it down.
Is that what the Tony Stark challenges are?
I don't know what they are. Kevin?
You have to drive his car 88 miles. You have to use the workbench, and you just have to email in his facility.
So
so
if
they're
that goes
pretty
away,
quick.
there's no doing that.
Yeah, that's really
And
quick.
it sounds like they are with this whole next season supposed to be about Star Wars.
Is
yeah,
it
that's
really?
that's what I heard the rumor to be,
Matic-
which kind of means we're gonna play more.
Matic told me about that. I'm like, oh no, dude, this is not good.
So
Hey, we all
Disney's
wanted-
just gonna fucking own Fortnite, dude. Like,
Yeah.
DC had a part of a season, and Disney's just been having its way with the rest of it so far.
It's still
Yeah.
cool though that
Like,
DC was in it for a bit, because then we have Batman fighting like Captain America and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
If you tell me there's like if the Mandalorian is gonna be in there, I'm 100% gonna buy the battle
dude.
pass.
Dude, Mando with a Baby Yoda back bling.
Oh,
That would be hilarious.
Oh man, that'd be wild.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be crazy. They're
Mhm.
gonna put so many just Star Wars characters on that battle pass. It's gonna be nuts.
Well, it's supposed to be all space themed too. Like Galactus is supposed to blow up the area, and then you're kind of in space.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
Jeez.
They need to switch it up. There's been too much water on this map at least they reduced it, but the Aquaman season,
The
it was
Aquaman
terrible.
thing really
That was
screwed it
awful.
up. Yeah,
I hated that.
That's when I fell off last.
Yeah, same. Kevin, did you have an overrated game you wanted to throw out there?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I just-
Overrated game.
Mine's definitely Among Us. I'm so burnt out
I'm
on
gonna
that
say
game.
right now, it's not a game. It's overrated. PlayStation, dude. It's overrated, dude. And fanboys, we get it.
Damn.
Oh, look at me.
Damn.
Like, I got my DualShock, DualSense controller over here. It's overrated, dude. Chill out. Xbox is the way to go. All right.
okay.
You get all your backwards compatible games, dude. You can play from the Xbox original to the Xbox Series X. Come on. PS5.
Yeah, I mean, as
Can't do
much
that.
as I love poking the bear, Kevin, and I do, trust me. The PlayStation 5 is great, in my opinion. And I don't think I'm overrating it. I think both machines are awesome. But I mean, like I said, I beat Spider-Man, and now it just sits there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I went on and I downloaded a couple backwards compatible PS4 games, like Persona 5 Royal. I downloaded for some reason. Started playing that a little bit. Ghost of Tsushima, which I never beat, I downloaded, and it's a cool machine, but like, man, I'm not gonna play Demon Souls. I'm not gonna play Sackboy until that
Month away.
online gets
Yeah.
introduced. So what am I gonna do with it? It just kind of sits there for now until Horizon or God of War or whatever the big exclusive is.
That's the thing. People complain about Xbox not having any games. PS5 really feels like it needed to be delayed a month. There's a lot of features and mislabeled things on there that just feel like they want to do the same things as Xbox, but just didn't have the time for it.
Mhm.
There's a thing labeled Switcher on the PS5 that sounds like it's a switch between games quickly.
A quick
And you
resume
kind of
type
can
deal,
with loading
yeah.
screens, but it's nothing like quick resume. Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
I mean, if you're they got the exclusives. There's no doubt about that, and nobody can even argue that. Like, Miles Morales is easily in conversation for Game of the Year, in my opinion. And Demon Souls, I know people love it. Sackboy looks a hell of a lot of fun. But that's what PlayStation's turned into for me since it's about midway through the PlayStation 4 cycle is when it just became sort of my exclusive machine. You know what I mean? and that's what it is. That's what a PlayStation is now. It's a machine to play those games on that are so good that I have to play them. So and Miles being the only one I'm interested in right now. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna turn it back on and go in and swing around, but still, I'm gonna play everything else on my Xbox. I just like the Xbox for those games more. I like the controller more. I like the load times. I like that all my friends are over there. It's just how it is for me.
All right. The next question is, do you have an underrated game or very obscure game that you really love? Like mine is back in the day, way, way back in the day when I was a youth. I used to play this game on PC called Freelancer, and you flew around in a spaceship. You fought other people and you traded between planets, and it was the best.
Hold on. I've got a list of these, man.
Ooh.
What was the question? Underrated game?
Got a list.
Yeah, underrated or obscure game that you really love.
Fallout 76.
That's fair. I respect that.
Nobody's playing it, dude. People trash about it, dude.
Yeah,
it is trash, bro.
Not trash, dude.
I don't think enough people have played Ghost Runner yet. That game is way too good.
It's so good. I love that game.
It's such a fan. It's not a puzzler, but it is at the same time.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'm mad about it is the final achievement is glitched. Every achievement doesn't work. And that's all I have.
A really obscure game that I love is Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. Have y'all heard of this? Have y'all played this? Y'all know what Harvest Moon is? Harvest Moon's essentially like Stardew Valley before Stardew Valley was a thing. And it was a 3D game on the GameCube. So Stardew Valley, but in 3D, and you ran a farm and you sort of went about this town and you talked to the inhabitants there. You could marry a woman and like raise a family. And as you progressed, your farm would get bigger and better, and you would sell more stuff for more money and raise animals and grow crops. And like, it was just something that sucked up a lot of my time as like a junior high kid. You know what I mean? Like 4th, 5th, 6th grade and going into junior high. It was just like a game I played a whole lot on the GameCube. I think it's on PlayStation now. I think you can get it on like PlayStation backwards compatibility. Maybe on the PlayStation 4. I don't know how PlayStation 5 works.
Harvest Moon is on Xbox. A lot of the Harvest Moon games. Yeah, there's a lot of Harvest Moon games on Xbox.
Nice.
Yeah, if you can play A Wonderful Life, you should check it out because it's basic. It's not gonna look good. It's old as hell. But it was a fun one for me. What about y'all got any other ones?
I mean, I agree with the Ghost Runner thing. I got frustrated by there's one section, and I haven't gone back to it recently, where you like have to jump up around and get to the top to cut the wire on like
that boss fight. Yeah.
And so I did that one, and then when I went, the second try is just very difficult. There's lasers like swirling around everywhere.
I almost quit in that boss, but if you stick with it, it gets even better and better.
Okay. I mean, I'm definitely going to have to get back to it. I just, all I do is shoot things right now.
Think about your mods that you have. That should help you a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if it's underrated. I don't really hear too much people talk about it. Every once in a while I do hear it. But Sleeping Dogs? It's a really good game. Really good story. But I don't really hear too much people talking about it. So I don't think...
Isn't that the game that has like the Arkham fighting mechanics in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I played a little bit of it, and if I had gotten like an hour more into it, I probably would have stuck with it longer.
It's really good.
It's one of those sort of like cult classics where everybody who's played it has positive things to say about it. And I maybe I was too young to really understand it, but I remember playing it when it was pretty new and being like, why am I in modern day and just like using my fisticuffs to fight these people? Why am I not shooting them in the face? And that kind of turned me off of it. But I'm sure if I went back now, I could easily just trick my brain into accepting that fact. So
yeah.
On Xbox, they have a definitive edition for Xbox.
Definitive edition, yeah. It's on Game Pass, I'm pretty sure.
Is it? Damn. Yeah, you guys
there it was.
It's
yeah,
fun.
I think I own it for sure.
It reminds me of
It might have been free 1 month with
Yeah.
games with gold.
It reminds me so much of ever since I started playing it, Yakuza, and I was like, Yakuza feels a lot like Sleeping Dogs, and I'm like, no wonder I like Yakuza so much right now because I like the fighting in it too.
Yeah.
Man, Yakuza's so fun.
I need to get into Like a Dragon. I have that. It only good things have been said about it.
Have you played
But
any
there's just
other
no
ones?
time. No, but I've heard this is also a good jumping in point.
Yeah. From what I've seen of it, it is. And if you do play it and finish it and you like it, go back and play the other ones because the other ones are really good too, and it's really like interesting type of like story they have in there.
A lot of them are on Game Pass too, right?
I think 0 and Kiwami 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 3 prequels.
I'd rather just beat Persona 5 Royal if I was gonna play a game like that, you know. But yeah, like Nano said, there's just no time. I got no time.
No time.
Mm-hmm. It's tough. It's tough out there.
All
First
right.
world problems.
Yeah.
Now I got a good one for you. What game do you wish would get a remake?
Sly Cooper.
Wow.
Fallout 76. No.
Oh, remade?
Yeah, the two that I always think of are I would love like a remastered or remake of Splinter Cell Chaos Theory or SSX Tricky.
Yeah, any of the EA big games.
Tricky.
My dream has always been like, since they're obviously not going to make any more, they need to package the EA big collection in some fashion and sell it, and I'll buy it for like $200. Seriously, like if they were to package like NBA Street 1 through 3, NFL Street, all the SSX games as like some sort of package, I would just buy it instantly.
They need to, with this EA partnership, they need to do some effort to put the original Xbox, NBA, or EA big games onto it. Just get it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I think the problem with all those games, though, is the music licensing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the NBA Street one specifically has to do with those older players, the legends and stuff.
That's true too.
They had in those games. They were paying those guys probably a lot of money, and they were probably asking for more money because of the popularity of the game. So, my dream is that they just remake an NBA Street, like NBA Street 2020, and they have all those older guys in it, but with current rosters as well. That's my dream. Like, that would be incredible. This question leads me to another question, which is what the heck is going to happen with Mass Effect 1 whenever this Legendary Edition or whatever it's called comes out? Like, is that a remake? Is it just a up-res? Like, you know what I mean? Because my other answer would be Mass Effect 1, because that game visually didn't age well, but gameplay wise didn't age well at all. Like, gameplay wise, it aged even worse.
Everybody complains at first about the Mako, right?
Yeah,
and how awful it feels.
Yeah, the Mako, like, that's like side quest stuff. I'm talking about like shooting, basic moment to moment gameplay with the guns. It just didn't age well at all. And for how great that story is, it deserves it. Like, if Final Fantasy can get that, I think Mass Effect 1 should get that as well.
They said they're redoing basically everything in that, right? Except for the story.
Yeah.
Like, they're modernizing the gunplay.
I don't know. Like, they've talked about like textures and visual stuff, but I haven't heard anything about like gunplay or like the moment gameplay. Yeah.
Kevin, do you have one?
I have one. I think would have to be Metal Gear.
1. The original.
Yeah, 1 and 2, not Solid, just 1 and 2. Like the old like NES, the other computer game, whatever it is. I just want to see that remade, that kind of fix around the story, and see how like everything would fit in the whole saga, because it's such an interesting game that they never even touch on it anymore.
Yeah, Yeah,
I don't even
R.I.P.
know what
Metal Gear.
happens in those. Is Solid Snake even? Is Snake even like in those games? Like,
yeah, he is. And
I mean, isn't that where the hide under the box thing originated?
No,
I don't know.
No,
I think there'll be. Is it? I don't remember. I haven't really played those. I played a little bit of it just to see how it felt, and it was like, wow, this is an old game that I don't know if I can get into. Yeah, a lot of the people you see in the other games you see here. So I want to see those remade. Just do it. So
that would be cool.
I'm so interested how they would do it. But that or Metal Gear Solid 1. One of those three. Those are really good games.
I think Blue Point's gonna make Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah.
They just have to get it from Konami. And Konami's loving milking that license for pachinko machines right now.
It's so easy. Just be like, look, you can have the license with the pachinko, but give us the game license, you know? Just do that type of deal.
If they do that, they're gonna have to go for Silent Hill as well.
God damn.
They're gonna have to take them all from them.
Take everything. Yu-Gi-Oh! Too, dude. I want a better Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. Even though the last one, I really want to play Legacy of Duelist.
Dude, it's so good.
God, I want to play it. I want to get on the Switch so I can play it anywhere. I'll get one.
To play through every single episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Do all those matches.
Oh my god, dude! It's
great.
Damn. I need to get it. I should get it. I think it's on
Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game dominates the Pokemon card game, in my opinion.
Absolutely,
like, it is the better card game.
Yeah, because people know how to play the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game more than the Pokemon card game.
Yeah, because the show was about the card game, and that's what made it so.
Yeah,
dude.
The first season didn't give a crap about the rules.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, you're able to summon people whenever you wanted. And I was like, oh, okay, you can summon a Blue Eyes whenever. I thought you had to sacrifice.
Put down 3 cards, fuse them.
Yeah,
attack.
God, what a good card game! I'm gonna start collecting Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards now. I want to do it.
My next question is one that I actually only have one answer to, because I can't even really think of like what games are coming out in 2021. But what games are you looking forward to the most in 2021? Mine would obviously be Halo Infinite.
Horizon.
Horizon.
Yeah.
Forbidden West.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, that's easy.
I still need to play that.
Yeah, in my opinion, Horizon is the best PS4 exclusive by a long shot, and I need more. I need more of that. I need more in that universe, and I need more of that story.
Have you read the comics at all?
Mm-mm.
They have there's a comics run going on right now that's supposed to be bridging the original series and Forbidden West.
Wow, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look into that.
It's okay, but I mean, it's still more story in the universe. It's adding to it.
Yeah, the game. What that game did with like sort of taking two original narratives and interweaving them with Aloy's story as well as like the story of the world was just mind bending. Like just incredible.
The world building
stuff.
was next level.
Yeah, and so like you get that, and then you also get Aloy's story sort of interweaved with that, and it's just gorgeous. And like that game has one of the best original narratives I've ever seen in like any medium. And I need more. I want to see what they do next.
Do you have one you're looking forward to there, Nano?
I think Lego Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited for that game.
Yeah, it's on a brand new engine. It's going to be the entire Star Wars Skywalker saga. And
I'm so excited.
I can't wait to see what they're doing with it. It's supposed to come out this year, but then they pushed it by a year. So
yeah,
what they're doing with that time.
Are they redoing the old games with like dialogue, and or are they just gonna bring them over?
I think it's all kind of new. It seemed like
it's a brand new game covering the entire series. So it's not going to be like a remaster or a remake of the old games. It's going to be completely redone.
That's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's just like, think about how much content that is though, because like there's so much content in like even just like the first Lego Star Wars that came out. I feel like even if they stick with the 5 levels per movie, that's a lot of levels to go through. I loved those games, and I'm very excited for that game. And it looks like there's might be like a little bit of a perspective switch to being like a little bit more over the shoulder based on the last trailer thing I saw.
Those games are like low key gorgeous too. Like,
yeah.
I remember the first time because I played Lego Star Wars. Everybody did. I love Lego Batman 2. Lego Batman 2 is like one of my favorite games ever. But I remember seeing I think the first one that really like made me say wow is the Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. And seeing that and just being like, oh man, like even though this is stupid dumb Lego stuff, like they're really doing a lot here with like how good this looks. And then now even more so, like they are gorgeous. Like if you go and play Lego Batman 3, it's just like holy crap, like it's so pretty. It's so stupid and dumb, but like visually it's like, oh, they did a really killer job. And I think with this next one, with the Star Wars, they're really going to go all out for it. That looks super cool.
With the original one, they just had like noises when the characters talked, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't have any voice lines at all.
There was never.
There was so many funny jokes though because of that. I feel like,
and I remember, they did play around that meta, and I remember playing Lego Batman 2 when they did start like talking. You know, and I never played Lego Batman 1. I don't know if they had dialogue in that, but I remember Lego Batman 2 being the first one I played that had the dialogue, and just like how stupid Superman was, and just like he would fly and I can do everything, and like Batman would just be like, oh, I hate this fucking guy, and Robin would just be like, I love Superman. Like it was like that stuff was always so funny to me, and I can't wait to see like that style of humor sort of brought over to Star Wars. I think man, Nano, I wasn't thinking about that, but that's a good.
Nobody is that pull. That's flying under a lot of people's radar. And even when they do pull from the movies, like for Lego Incredibles or Lego Jurassic Park, they still pull in that dumb humor that they always have, and it still works.
Yeah, it's so good.
Lego Jurassic Park is amazing because they can't really show death, so it's how do they play with death while having it be a kids game.
Yeah, there's so many secrets and so much replayability to all those levels that you can like find all sorts of crazy stuff. And like I just remember the clone, the second one in episode 2, you could find a room and you'd like make all the stormtroopers dance and to like some crazy techno beat. It was like a remixed version of the Star Wars like theme.
Kevin, what about you?
What was the question again?
What game are you
looking forward to the most?
I was like, are we talking about the remake or what are we talking about now? I forgot. Man, looking forward the most. But it had to be. I really want to see what's gonna happen with Rainbow Six Quarantine.
It's an interesting one.
Like, what's going on?
You think
with that
they'll
game?
rename it?
I guess so. Like,
because we're all permanently in quarantine.
Yeah. I really
everything with like that word in it now just hits so different.
Yeah. Maybe we'll sell more. I don't know. That and
are you gonna?
What's up?
Are you gonna pick up the? Are you gonna go back to Rainbow Six Siege when they release their next gen patch?
Man, I'm gonna have to. I want to get all the achievements on Xbox. I need like
suck at that game.
I need like 3 more achievements in that game, and I'm about to 100% it. It's just so hard. Maybe I'll give it a shot. But I mean, man, all this optimization, I gotta pick up that expansion card now.
Got to.
It was a day one purchase, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
$220 though. It's so much. Like,
but it's so worth it.
Damn. But I want to wait for a bigger card, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Quarantine and Halo Infinite are the two I'm anticipating. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what they did with Halo Infinite. If they really changed it up that much. If they're delaying it for this long.
Do we think it's I feel like it could come out before holiday, but does everyone think it's going to be holiday?
No, I don't think we see Halo Infinite in 2021.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
With all the changes of staff, I agree. It sounds like they're basically redoing the story.
I don't think they had any. I think they're so like people think that game's coming out like relatively soon, then no. We're not going to see that.
There's no way.
And I would guess like summer 2022.
Damn.
Is
I hope that's not true.
Because dude, like
I'm so excited.
they just let go of another like creative director, and you don't just do that over and over and over again if you have any idea what the game is. To me, it sounds like they don't even know what the game is. And that's super worrisome.
Which is such a shame because we had so much faith in 343 going into this whole console launch. There's still marketing going on for the game.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago, you could buy cups at 7-Eleven for Halo Infinite.
Damn,
It's on the back of the Series Xbox. So they had so much faith in it, and now it's just who knows what the hell is going to happen to Halo Infinite.
But what if they have a Game Awards trailer and it's like spring 2021?
I thought they said they weren't going to be there.
Yeah, they're not going to be a Game Awards.
Oh, damn.
Nice try.
They did say they're going to have an announcement or a news update.
They did. I remember that now.
Another thing I'm excited for, which probably isn't coming in 2021, but just whatever the hell the initiative's doing.
Just hearing about it.
Yeah. And whether or not that's like Perfect Dark or something totally original. Like, I'm excited to see what Xbox has up its sleeve with that studio, because they've been making like crazy hires. So just left and right, just hiring people from all the top studios to come in and make something that, by what I'm hearing, should be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever they're doing, also whatever Fable looks like, I'm excited to see that as well.
It'll be interesting to see if we get anything that's at the Game Awards that's going to be like, this is coming out in 2021, and we just like haven't heard that much about it.
The most I could see is maybe Forza. We get a look at Forza.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
Because we saw a quick look at it during the last Xbox event, and it's supposed to be a live game this time. So like they're adding on to it, adding more tracks over time, which they kind of did through DLC before, but a next-gen Forza game, I think, would really help with this drought right now with Xbox games until we get Psychonauts 2 or something from one of these smaller studios who have been working on stuff for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And the next Forza is going to be a platform. Like,
yeah.
The next Forza could very well be the last, like, Forza Motorsport.
Same for Forza Horizon.
Yeah, I mean,
True.
Horizon's a little bit bigger.
Horizon's probably a little bit further away too. Right?
Yeah, and like in terms of platform with Motorsport, it's easier because you're not bringing it. Yeah, you're not bringing in an open world. You're bringing in a track here. You're bringing in a track there. You're updating your list of cars as time goes on.
Did you see? Speaking of things that update frequently, Microsoft Flight Simulator got like a huge USA update.
Really?
It's getting another patch next month for England.
Oh, really? Nice. Because they did like a bunch of stuff in Japan, I think, with their first big patch, and now they did like a bunch of stuff across the United States, including like Hartsfield Jackson and New York City and Mount Rushmore and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's super.
That game is so good.
When is that coming out? Series X. Jeez.
That's also a good question.
Because I can't run it on my computer.
I can run it, but it's beefy. I would rather just play it on the console.
It's so hard to stream. It takes up so many resources.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like streaming so many things itself.
Mm-hmm.
It like the month that it came out, it like put me over the data cap that I had. And I was like, oh, classic. And then I'd pay to not have a data cap anymore because that's Call of Duty takes up my entire 1.2 terabytes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Wow.
I mean, no, but close. All right. Well, I think that's all the fun questions I have for you today, unless you have some hot takes to add to the...
No, I agree with your Among Us assessment. I think
yeah.
I think it's overrated. My Demon Soul spicy take and that, I think, are two just hard truths that people don't want to admit.
Will you guys get back into Among Us whenever they release this new map and update?
Not unless they completely change how being a crewmate works.
It's just too boring being a crewmate, is what we've determined.
Being a crewmate is just the biggest waste of time ever. It's so boring. Because even if you die, you just do your tasks anyway. It's I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I also think Fall Guys is overrated, but that's probably because nothing has changed.
We'll see what happens with the season 3 Winter Wonderland thing that they're doing.
Yeah, hopefully they add more levels than they did last time.
I want a snowboard.
I'll talk to you about that after the podcast.
Oh.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, so we'll just get into like what we've been doing this week and whatnot. But Kevin, do we want to talk about how disappointing Call of Duty private lobbies were this week?
Oh man, we have time for that? I mean, there's a lot to say.
I mean, there's not that much to say, but
it's trash, dude.
it's such a pain in the ass.
Such a pain.
Yeah, dude. And it sucked for you guys. I could tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I could tell y'all were having a hard time, especially. I mean, we
were
in
a control over
like
anything.
and we weren't in an ideal situation for it either. And we were sort of spread across 3 communities doing it, all trying to connect across 3 big. We had Andy's stream, we had my stream, and we had Game Attack, and so like those are 3 relatively large communities where we're all trying to sync up and connect, and it's 50 to 60 to 70 internet connections all connecting to one host, and it's just sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, everyone had fun, so I'm happy for that, but it was just it crashed. The game crashed on me twice when people were loading into the lobby, and then one of the lobbies just bricked on me, and then a separate time one of the lobbies just bricked on Kevin for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Actually, a couple times it did, and then people couldn't connect to us. A certain amount of people couldn't connect, and it was just the
crossplay thing on Activision is kind of rough right now, honestly, and the fact that you can't just invite all from the regiment is sad.
I know, we have to do one by one.
The other thing that disappoints me to no end is the fact that you have to decide what mode you're choosing before you know how many people are going to be in the game.
Yeah, I hate that. Just let us choose in the lobby, and then don't kick us out of the lobby after the game. That's simple.
That would have made it. Just that one thing would have made it like 1,000 times easier.
Yeah, because you'd have to re-invite everyone all over again.
If they just do that one thing, I would probably do it again. But for now, we might put that on pause because it's a lot of work otherwise.
Way too much work. Shouldn't have helped you when I saw you struggling.
You shouldn't have. You're right.
I was like, man, Maddox having trouble here. I'm gonna help him out a bit, and then I took over for a bit, and I'm like, oh no, this is terrible. Yeah. It's
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Breaking constantly, including Kevin has had a lot of crashes on his Xbox.
Has anyone been
for Cold War?
Has anyone else been having? Dude, no.
No, it happened to me once, Kevin.
So it's not only. Yeah, go. What's up?
That's all I had. It's happened to me once and not again since.
So I've crashed.
I mean, it happened.
Go for it.
A lot of people on Reddit have said that it crashes on them on Xbox.
Xbox only for what game they're playing though.
Cold War, yeah.
Cold War. So yeah, that time we were playing, I think it crashed on me 5 times that night.
Yikes.
That's not good.
And it's not only crashed on me on that game, it's crashed on me on other things too. It crashed on me when I was in the Microsoft store, in the Xbox store, which was really weird. I was like, well, I'm not even playing anything. Why did it crash? I was like, why? Something's going on with my Xbox. I don't know what's going on. Should I go get it checked out? I don't know. I'm scared.
Is there a close? And I know I've said this to y'all before, and I don't know what y'all have on Quick Resume. I don't have anything on Quick Resume ever.
You don't know what you have on Quick Resume.
I know.
You just
don't.
Like,
that's my question. Is there a close all applications button?
I don't think
on
so.
The series, no.
Unless you hard reset your console.
But I've heard even then they stay suspended.
Oh yeah, you can power it down, and it would still quick resume.
Yeah, because I quick resume Yakuza all the time, and I power it down all the way.
I don't think it takes up any RAM. It's more like it just stored in hard memory for a little bit. That's part of like the 200 gigs that's unallocated. So it's not like it really takes away resources.
Yeah, they should probably find a better solution, in my opinion. I think not knowing what's on Quick Resume is
have a list on the side or something.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
Have you had any crash problems, Nano?
None on Xbox. I don't think I've had any issues with my Xbox so far. Only with my PlayStation.
No, my Series X has crashed once on Cold War, and I've had a handful of game crashes, but not console. Like, they don't shut down my console like the Cold War one did. It's just, the game freezes up. I have to close it and reopen it, which happened last gen too. So
yeah, for sure. It does happen every once in a while.
Yeah, I've only had issues with my PlayStation so far.
I don't think I've ever crashed on PlayStation. The only thing I've ever, the games crashed on me on PlayStation. That's it.
Oh, it was a struggle to get through Miles Morales. It crashed pretty regularly during that game.
That's interesting.
I think it's just early hardware problems.
Yeah.
Is what it really comes down to. Unfortunately, when you buy the newest hardware, it just doesn't work perfectly out the gate. So you've been playing Assassin's Creed on your Xbox?
Yep.
Nice. And how is the Assassin's Creed experience going for you and Washburn?
Oh, I think it's the best Assassin's Creed so far.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun, and we mentioned earlier like how these side quests can get sluggish sometimes, but I think they've really mastered it with Valhalla because there's a lot on the map, but they're quick, fun things to do. And even then, the side quests, they don't really tell you what to do. And there's nothing in your quest log saying what to do. It's you talk to somebody, they give you a little speech about what's going on with their life, and then Ivor might chime in saying, "Okay, I guess I'll need to do this." Or there's quick little hints. Like I ran into this little girl saying, "Oh, I'll stop waiting for my father once the final leaf falls," and it's this leaf that refuses to fall. And so the solution is to shoot this leaf down to get her to move, and that's how you finish the side quest. So it's these couple of things that make it fun to feel the world lived in, but they don't really take you away from the main story. And the game's beautiful. Stealth is a little more difficult, it seems. I feel like I get caught pretty quickly when trying to stealth around. But one-hit assassinations are back, which is great. And even when it feels like you can't get them, there's an ability where you can always one-hit kill people with stealth.
Have you gotten that, Washburn?
I've gotten that one. I was alluding to it earlier. The first 8 hours of this game, I hated it. Like playing through those first 8 hours, I was just like, what have they done with the power levels, the skill trees, the gear? I had no idea if what I had was any good. I kept running into over-leveled enemies. I just didn't understand the game at all. And I think after I said, like, if this next quest line doesn't get me, like if I play through another quest and I don't enjoy it, like at least the narrative of it, I'm going to drop off. But then I ran into my boy Oswald. Okay. And let me tell you about Oswald. Oswald is a boy king, and he becomes a man. He becomes a grown ass man by the time his arc is done, bro. And so I was like, yeah, I like that. I dug that. I'll push through. I still think the skill tree is dumb. I hate the way they've done the leveling in this game, where you level up, you get 2 skill points there, but then levels don't get progressively longer. They're always the same. So you do a quest. Usually after every quest, you level up. Every quest will level you. You get 2 skill points, you dump them in. Each one's 1 power level. So you're just always leveling up and going into this skill tree and dumping things in. And rather than how they had it in Odyssey, which I understood, where you would get a piece of gear, it had a number next to it, Destiny style. You know what I mean? And you always would just equip the next, highest piece. But this one's more streamlined, I guess you could call it, where you do have this just sort of skill tree, and they are just percentage buffs and some ability. They're not abilities. Abilities are a different thing. Skills. and you find abilities out in the world in these knowledge books where you go and you get these books and those give you abilities. And so like that was confusing to me, but I got it now. I'm with it now. And last night I stumbled on this side quest that like took me to freaking Asgard. And I don't think this is a spoiler because it does seem like a bit of a side quest. It was something I could have totally missed. But yeah, that was super unexpected. And you actually like run around there for a good while, and there's like collectibles there, and it's like another map.
Oh, nice.
You just like you run around Asgard.
Without spoilers, they do that several times where they just have a whole map added to the game for a side mission. Because like there's the side mysteries that you can do, which are kind of like the old side quests, but then they have other missions you can do, which is that one, and they're really fun and beautiful with what they do with changing the world like that.
And like one of the, and I won't spoil it, but like in one of the only time that I've like popped out of the Animus, right? You pop out of the Animus and you're this Lila girl, and I think she's the same girl from Odyssey.
In Origin, yeah.
Yeah, and she like finds Eivor's bones in a place that's like super unexpected. And she's like, oh, how did you end up all the way over here? And I'm like, how did she end up all the way over there? I want to find out.
That's one of the coolest parts, because what they are doing with this game is actually something that is even very recent history that we learned about. Learning that, no, the Vikings may have been some of the first people to come to America.
Yeah.
And so it's them like, playing with that so quickly in this game. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, yeah, they allude to that. And like another thing I love about this game is how just trippy and weird it is. It's so freaking weird, man. Every time you kill a dude, Eivor's just having a vision quest and talking to Odin. And you're just like, what is going on here? And like, they really do lean into a lot of the things I loved about the old Assassin's Creed, which is that trippiness, that sort of weirdness of it. And the assassins are back. They're called the Hidden Ones, and I don't know my lore, but like, I imagine this is before Origins, right? Or is this like...
No, this is 900s. Origins was BC.
And
like almost at the turn of the century BC.
This is before Assassin's Creed 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like 300 years before Assassin's Creed 1.
Yeah, and so like you do see the assassins that give you a hidden blade and like all that's there. And yeah, I mean, I'm 25 hours in now and I can't stop playing it. It's like all I've played all week is this game, and just like 3 or 4 hour chunks. I'll just jump in and knock out like 3 or 4 hours, and I'm really enjoying it now a lot more than I was when I first started. Because man, I'll tell you, those first 8 hours were brutal until I understood the mechanics, and that's a complaint that is valid. I think that a lot of people play this game like they play a lot of games, and they're gonna say it's not grabbing me in the first 10 hours and they're going to move on. And that's an issue. I think that that's something that deserves to be talked about. That's a complaint that's valid. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, you really need to push through to hour 12 to some, like I'm never going to say that.
Theme. Yeah. That's been such a common theme lately in modern games is, oh, the first 5 hours, 6 hours is so slow. Wait until hour 10. You'll be fine.
No, screw that, dude. And I did, and I don't regret it at all. But I'm never going to tell somebody to push through. Like, if something's not grabbing you in 6 hours, then it's not grabbing you in 6 hours. And if you want to go do something else, that's totally valid. And that's where this game that's where my biggest complaint is with it. I think there's so much of it. And like Nano said, it is gorgeous. Like, this game is freaking gorgeous, dude. I put up a tweet earlier today where I just like crested up this hill, and like on the other side of this hill is just this postcard, and it's gorgeous. I'm just like, this is insane. Like, this is crazy looking. And
on the first night I got the game and I booted it up, I was walking through Norway on top of a snowy mountain, and then the music just swelled up. And it just caught me then and there. And there's so many of these little moments that really make you appreciate what they did with this game.
Mm-hmm.
But you're absolutely right. I think it got my claws in me much easier because I have played and 100%ed every single Assassin's Creed to date. So knowing how they did Origin, Odyssey, and appreciating what the changes they did to the game immediately, and understanding the boundaries that they've set beforehand and how they implemented this game really helped a lot with grabbing me. And leveling is definitely much more mundane, it feels. Where last game, it felt like levels felt meaningful, but then also at the end, you got to the max level pretty quickly or filled up your skill tree really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just dumping points into meaningless skill points at that point to get like 1% extra damage here and there. And even the gear got too Diablo-ized, where you got tons of gear and they had to break it down after and only kept the meaningful ones and really only got the ones that had the higher numbers. And in this one, you can keep the same gear you started off with and be perfectly fine at the end of the game.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, same here. I haven't really changed my gear, and I found a weapon that I like and a shield that I like, and I've only kept those on, upgrade them whenever I get enough resources, and that's been fine.
Yeah, so that was a big problem for me is like I still don't know if the gear I have is properly leveled for where I am in the game. So, and they introduce you to this dude super early, and his name's Gunner, and he's your blacksmith, and he can take your gear and level it from like superior to flawless to
he just changes basically the rarity.
Yeah, to like mythical or whatever, the gold one is. And I forgot that. Like like 4 hours later, I was like, why am I only finding orange gear? And then like I think it was Ranvi, this side character, was like, oh, go visit Gunner, he might have something for you. And I went back to him and I was like, oh, this is the dude that can take my gear from bronze to silver.
Even then, like that's not the most meaningful part of upgrading gear. It's when you find all the necessary ore, then leather to increase the stats, because otherwise it's just letting you upgrading it so you can apply those more upgrades and add ruins to it too, because there's a whole rune system as well.
Yeah.
That's little extra points.
Yeah, and so like you upgrade it from bronze to silver to gold, and each time you upgrade it, one of those rarities, you can upgrade the stats. Like it unlocks 3 more stat boosts for you. And so now that I understand that, I kind of have my mind wrapped around like, okay, I can just run with my father's axe the whole game. I never have to change, and that's fine. And I can just wear the Raven clan armor because I think it looks super dope. So I will just dump resources into that. I do have an issue with the fact that you can just buy that stuff with real money. And I think that's something that does need to be talked about. Like you can buy everything in this game.
Like for real money.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Like
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, like in Odyssey, I got the booster, the like little, I don't remember how much it took your XP up. But like I got the booster that increased the amount of experience I got. And I didn't have a problem doing that, but you could also in Odyssey buy, just straight up gear or resources. That is weird to me, and I would not recommend you do that because I think it defeats the purpose of this game. If you can just buy your way to perfect gear, you're not going to have any fun that way.
Unlike Odyssey as well, Odyssey I think had a lot of issues of over escalating things with having weird level walls you had to hit, then do a lot of side quests.
Yes.
Or you could buy this experience boost to get through it faster. And same for upgrading your ship. Your ship takes forever to reach the max for everything you can do for it. And even then you can buy the resources to do it. While in Valhalla, I feel like it's the perfect mix where I upgrade things naturally and I never feel underpowered or overpowered unless I willingly choose to go to a different area which has a much lower skill rating. And then I know I'm going in there feeling overpowered like a god, basically tearing up this side of England.
And that's my biggest fear with this game, is that I am going to hit a point where it tells me I have to level. And I haven't hit it yet.
I have never hit it. am 55 hours in and I've never hit it.
They will.
It seems like you might at certain points, but it keeps on unlocking areas that are at your level or a slight increase. It's close to your level, and that you will still be able to manage it. And it's a much better natural progression. They promised us that we would never have to level boost or grind levels, and I feel like they've really held to that.
That's good. Yeah, and
that is good.
So, yeah, I mean, 25 hours in, obviously, I'm enjoying it, or I wouldn't still be playing it. I do think there is a much longer conversation to be had some other time about games being too long and putting throwing too much at you in those first 10 hours. It might be a conversation we have very soon here with Cyberpunk coming out, and seeing how people feel about that title card displaying after 10 hours. But
sure.
Yeah, it's a banger in my opinion. And that's just how I am, but I totally understand anybody who plays the first few hours and drops out on this game. I totally get it.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad that you've come around a little bit there, Washburn. You were very disappointed in it at the beginning.
I really was, dude. And like that, there's that one quest with this little boy named Oswald we haven't really got into the structure of the game and how it works, but once you get to England, you have a table, you go to your table, you pledge to this area, and then it's a story arc. And that's it. And you do that story arc, and you come back, and you do the next one. And all of those stories sort of interweave together and sort of play into the main story and how that's playing out for sure. But they are large in part separate story arcs. And there was this one with this boy named Oswald that I really dug. I was like, this is dope. I'm into this. I like where this is going. I like everybody involved here. And it got me. And so I kept pushing. And then I got to London. And I was like, well, London's tiny because, this is an old game. But you meet these two guys named Stowe and Ericy. And I'm just like, ooh, these dudes are dope. And like, I like what these dudes are putting down. I like this quest. It's sort of like a murder mystery. You go around. So it's either going to grab you with stuff like that or it's not. And it grabbed me and I kept going. And now I can't put it down.
Mm-hmm. And the way they segmented too is gives you nice little break points too. Mm-hmm. Once you finish an area, you can put the controller down, walk away, come back a day or two later and pick it up and go do another quick story and be just fine. You don't feel like you've lost much of the main story. And when the story beats hit, they hit a lot. And when they don't, because there are some areas that seem like they're side areas, I just haven't really found out a way how to differentiate between them. But even then, there's still fun stories to go through.
Mm-hmm.
All right, nice. That sounds pretty exciting. I'm look forward to playing it. I usually end up playing Assassin's Creed like half a year after it comes out, at least when it's on sale. And this seems like I will definitely pick it up at some point.
I usually play after 4 years of release. I'm still working on Syndicate right now. I'm getting there. It's tough,
All right. Did you just want to talk about WoW a little bit? We love multiplayer games here, but we're not big on the MMO scene, I would say, in general. So if you want to give us the lowdown on the new expansion there.
So yeah, Shadowlands just came out on Monday, so it's going to be about a week out as of tomorrow. And honestly, this might be one of the best expansions ever. They've learned a lot from the past issues with the Battle for Azeroth and Legion being really fun, but then getting dull really quickly by changing up how leveling works, more or less, and also changing how you level through the story. So, to quick summary, this game is basically what happens when the Wheel of Death breaks. So, and there's this whole afterlife where things get sorted, almost like in Valhalla and Greek mythology. When you die, you get judged, you go somewhere. If you get judged very poorly, you basically were a complete jerk your whole life. You get into this place called the Maw. And it's this even distribution of these souls that make the afterlife run well. But then somehow it broke. And now all these places are going to the Maw, making it super powerful, and every other area dying. And you're going there as somebody who is still alive, who can leave this area called the Maw, which is nobody has ever left before, to find out what is going on with the afterlife. After Sylvanas, which is a big baddie, broke it and found a portal to the world of death, basically. And along with that, they changed the entire leveling experience. And said, I mentioned this earlier, but the max level is super high, ridiculously high. You were reaching level 120 at one point. Now it's back to level 60, everything's squished. You're not doing millions of damage per hit on random enemies. It's down to like hundreds and thousands, which is really nice to see again. They streamlined the leveling experience. So if you guys create a new account and join the game today, they would put you on this little island. And it's an island where you learn about your special ability. There's a small little dungeon you can do, basically giving you a quick rundown of what you'll be experiencing through the game. And then they put you into the expansion before this one. So you kind of get the story, you know what the story beats are leading into the new expansion. And once you do hit this one, it is beautiful. The music is great. The storylines have been fantastic. And they finally made a through line through all the areas again, because before you could pick and choose where you went to level up as you did that. And it just made everything feel too segmented. But now there's an overarching story. Everything looks so good. They've added new abilities back to the classes again. They've added old abilities to make them feel more like themselves. And it feels like they've refound WoW's life with this expansion.
Nice. Do you think, what keeps you coming back? Is it the gameplay or is it the storylines?
I love the story. I always read the books. But I also like the raids. The raids have been always a fun experience of getting a group of 10 to 20 people together to go kick some butt in this huge raid. And it needs everybody to be on their game. I mean, you can mess up here and there, but the harder difficulties, everybody needs to be on top of their game. And it's that fun camaraderie of messing around with your friends, shooting the ship, and then once you get to a boss, you all focus in on what you need to do. And it's just like those raids and the dungeons they add with the new mechanics are always fun to see.
Nice. Yeah, I've never gotten into it. I've never really played it. I was always like, when I was a kid, I was always like, I can't pay monthly for a subscription to WoW or anything. But Washburn, do you have any experience with WoW or no?
Very little.
Very little.
Not even really enough to speak on it. I played it when I was in high school, and haven't really played it since. I've tried to jump into it here and there, but I just it's not for me. Like I'm not a point and click, just run around guy with I'm just bad on a keyboard. I'm just bad. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna learn. So it's just not for me. I appreciate it though, and it's like obviously it is like the standard setter for MMOs.
And yeah, it's pretty incredible how everyone has gotten back into it, I would say, in recent times, including a lot of top streamers, which is hilarious because they're always like, none of you want to watch me play this, but I am still playing it.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. It really added new life back to the whole MMO experience because it was getting super dull and they just kind of were extending its life instead of adding new things and making it feel like it's old stuff that everybody wanted again. But they did it this time around with all the new expansion features because there's always like one or two features that they add. But I mean, hell, they have a new dungeon now that's a roguelike dungeon that they're slowly expanding on throughout the expansion. And so far, what I played of it, it's amazing. Nice. You go through it, you can feel like a god if you have the right run, you get the right stats at the end. But you can do it with friends. There's fun traps you can avoid. There's enemies, and it's just building fun, crazy builds that you can mess around with, and you can do it no matter how many times you want, without any real effect on the outside world. And it's just like the fun, dumb experience that this game really needed.
Nice. Kevin, have you had any experience with WoW before or no?
Only time I played WoW was recently when they brought back WoW Classic, and we went back to play that for a bit. Other than that, I never really played anything else. I always see like commercials for it back in the day, like the one I remember the most is Miss Pandaria, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That's the one I remember the most. But like, I never wanted to get into it just because it seemed more like a group of friend thing, and I didn't have that back then to have like you said, to raid and stuff. So I never bothered getting onto it. So it's always Xbox for me. So until like recently, we played Classic. But then again, we only played Classic for like a week or two, and then we stopped. But it seemed fun too.
Even then, if you don't want to raid, they have ways to have fun with a smaller group of friends. They have more competitive dungeons now, where you like it's basically speedrunning dungeons, and the faster you do it, the harder they get.
Mm-hmm.
So they have more ways just to enjoy the content that's available with however many people are online at the time, and they've really mastered it this time around.
Nice. That's awesome. And yeah, I guess we already touched on Fortnite, so we probably don't need to talk about that again. Though it is exciting that we might be getting some Star Wars content in there. Nano, would you like to give us the rundown on what you're doing around the internet?
Yeah, I write reviews for My Xbox and Me at myxboxandme.com. I stream, getting back to streaming after a break, after some things that came up in life, starting tonight with more WoW, maybe Fortnite, at twitch.tv/the Nanobiologist. And I tweet way too much at DA Nanobiologist.
Very good, very good. You can catch Kevin at twitch.tv/KevinASex and Washburn at twitch.tv/Washburn135. I believe that's all we got for you this week. Thank you for joining us, Nano. It was a good time.
That was great. Thanks for having me.
Till next time, Kevin.
Next time. What is it again?
Every time, Kevin.
It calms out.
Boney came up with this idea, and then he ditched, and now Kevin can never remember what it is.
You put it on me and put me on the spot. You gotta give me some time. Holy moly. Let's do it all over again. All right. That's it for this week. Maddock, until next time.
Calms out.